Welcome back. Welcome back. We lived through last week. The Sunday show with Johnny O. Radio Titans. The great fucking Walton Jordan.
My
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
And you see it come crashing down on your wasted life. You fall on your wasted life, and you feel it as it rips you away from your wasted life. Fall on your wasted life, and it grab you and carry you away from your wasted life, from your wasted life, and it touch you, ask you if you're alright on your wasted time. All on your wasted time. Come on down and see it, see where it leads. I've got nothing, you've got me. Come on down and see it, see where it leads. I've got nothing, and you've got me. Come on down and see it, see where it leads. I've got nothing, and you got me. And we're all on top, some are down to die. When our pulse stops, we're all born to cry. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again. Cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and I do it again. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again. Cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, cause I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and I do it again. I shot Johnny in the back again, cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Got a problem with him, I'll do it again. I shot Johnny in the back again, cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Got a problem with it, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again. Got a problem with it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around back and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again. And come and see it, and I'll do it again. Do it again. There's no return to what you need. 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 There's no return
back, people. Welcome back. It's Sunday morning, June 29th. This is the Sunday Show with Johnny O, the great Walton Jordan.
That's me.
We're back here on the ether, and Jake Bo. Don't forget about Jake Bowman. And our lovely Rachel Odo on the boards, man. It's just us sweating it out in the studio this weekend down here, downtown Los Angeles. Way up, that's the thing, is we're way up here, and it's great normally, but man, heat rises, and it is hot, because it is officially summer.
Yeah.
Last week we kicked off summer.
Summer kicked off Memorial Day, man. That's the summer.
No. Last
I don't know
week,
where they got this first day of summer thing. Where are they? Not from LA.
I think it's the first day of summer because I think it is the day that summer.
Nonsense. It's the solstice. They just repackaged it as first day of summer. Like they repackaged the equinox as the first day of spring, but that's nonsense.
How do you figure? I mean, what? Because of the Julian calendar or because of the natural calendar?
Well, the Gregorian calendar. First of all, Julian calendar's off by a couple weeks.
Right? Whatever. It's what I'm talking about is natural calendars.
All
created
I want to know
calendars.
What time is it, people?
What
time is it?
It's freaking noon, man.
Where are you in space time?
I know where I'm at in space time.
Where are you?
I'm right now, man. Right now, right here. Right. Oh, that's a song we should have played. No, we should have played it 2 weeks ago when we did the 90s thing. I thought about it. Is Right Here, Right Now, Jesus Jones. Remember that one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, Jake does.
Right here, right now. Something like that.
Yeah,
Watching
kind
the
of.
world wake up from history.
Yeah. This is why Jake doesn't sing in his band.
No, I'm back on the rules. And
yeah.
I'm a little, I haven't warmed up this morning, but I'm not
it's
making
all right.
any excuses.
It's all right.
Hey, sing a song. Sing a song to what?
Man, anybody can sing.
That's right.
Sing a song.
Sing
Sing
it
loud.
to last the whole day long.
long.
Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear.
Something like that.
Just sing
Sing
a song. And that's what you got for growing up in the 70s, damn it.
Damn
I
right.
have a fully multicolor, you should have seen what my babysitter was wearing when I listened to that song, boy. Bell bottoms from here to heaven.
So last Sunday, if you guys tuned in, everyone tuned in because this is the greatest show on the world. Last Sunday, we did Coronation at the Lexington. Downtown LA Beach. And it was pretty awesome. I have, in all the times, all the bars and shows I've ever been to, I've never seen a bouncy house inside a dive bar.
No, I've never seen that before either.
No, that shit was crazy. It was pretty fun. And
I only stayed up for an hour.
No, it was up for a few hours. It was up for quite a few hours.
Yeah, but you couldn't see the acts. It was just
that's
it was kind of in the
bullshit.
way.
That's whatever. I disagree, but
it was in the way.
Personal disagreement there, but I didn't want to talk about that on the air.
Okay.
No.
Now we're getting somewhere.
No. I thought it was a great novelty, and you go with the novelty, man.
What was the novelty exactly? What was novel about it?
The fact that there's a fucking bouncy house, that you can actually watch the band from inside a bouncy house. I wanted to get 30 people in the bouncy house.
You know what? It was funny. It was because it was all the techno kids with multicolored hair.
Yeah.
They were bouncing up and down in the bouncy house, but all the sort of alternative
hipsters.
rockers were like, oh, "Please, we're way too
cool.
mature for bouncy house."
I almost took off my pants. I was like,
I'm bouncing in my
I almost got nude last week. Nude. I would bounce on my chonies, but I ain't got no chonies. So, yeah, that was last week. We had a great time. There's I give a shout out to everyone who played. And we're going to play a couple people who played last week later on in the show. We're also going to play, it's funny because we had the Letters Home bring us in, and Letters Home, I love that band. You guys know this. Everyone knows this. Everyone loves that band. How could you not love the Letters Home?
Yeah, everybody loves that.
But it felt like a weird week because I being the beginning of summer, my body has a tradition of trying to kill me at the beginning of summer with, and it goes into a summer flu shock. And this year, once again, it went into summer flu shock.
They're like the heat, the inversion layer of the LA summer, whatever compression of the air pollution that it forces in the center of the city. Don't give it to me I'm sick, like what, some kind of microbe, that whatever microbe colonized your body is an opportunist. The fact that your whole immune system has been suppressed by whatever toxic soup we've been stewing in.
Oh yeah.
So let's
and
be
the toxic
clear
soup we've
about,
been.
by the way,
we've been imbibing.
But that's only if you believe in that stuff. You just gotta not believe you're gonna get sick. Never.
That's what my daddy always said too.
Yeah.
My dad believed in the power of faith, and I believe in the power of faith.
Yeah, me too.
But I think it's all right to let your body do what it needs to do. You know, whatever doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. Until, and I'm going with that. Fuck the reality of heart attacks and everything. I'm going with that. I mean, I've seen it to be false, but I don't. For myself personally, maybe it's just those other people weren't strong enough.
Nah, dude, you just start believing a bunch of bullshit inside your subconscious, and then it comes out through your body.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so you just can't be believing all that bullshit. You just got to believe what you want to believe, and then just keep marching forward.
But it's kind of sad because having that little bit of little bit off my game last week, so I didn't get to see the Letters home play, which is weird because usually weekly I get to see them play live. But I didn't get to see them play last week. I mean, I got to see members of the band. I got to see Mikey play. In at least 5 bands, probably.
At least 5 bands.
I mean, I only went and saw 5 bands play last week, and I think he was in every one of them.
Yeah, hard worker, man.
Yeah, Mike Gottsall, hardest working freaking drummer in America. Maybe in the world, the universe, possibly. But but one band I did get to see last week, one of the bands that he did play with, was he played with James Houlihan in band.
Yes,
and James fucking killed it last week.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Man, Wednesday night at the Schmackland, he got
killed
down on
that
the
shit.
Ground.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I like
writhing on
it was
stage.
like this brand new artist. I mean, I love James, and he's a great artist. We all love Houlihan.
Yeah.
Houlihan. But he was definitely like just channeling the muse. That night, and his band was intense, and they just. Great show, amazing songs. Some new songs too that just killed it. And
he's got backup singers and stuff now.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, no, Esther Clark she's come on, that's every band. I think every good band needs some female background singers. I'm actually on a push now that you can't be a real band in LA unless you have background singers and a horn, some kind of brass or horn, some kind of horn section.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're going old school for real.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
You got to have horns and strings.
I personally, I'm looking for strings. Yeah,
You're talking like Ray Charles and the Raylettes or some shit like that. He had a horn section.
He did have a horn section. That's true. So
he had 3.
James Brown is what I think of. No, really. I mean, I like
They're trying to give these young guys heart attacks. They can't generate that kind of energy.
Yeah, they can. They can too.
Who the hell can generate that kind of energy?
They got drugs for that kind of thing nowadays. they prescribe them those drugs. But so this week we're back on the Radio Titans. Titanomachy. We are warring as the Titans. I wanted us all to know. I spent some time actually watching. I spent a little time watching TV this week, and it was a pretty awesome. Saw this really awesome anime that's it's called Attack of the Titan.
Yeah, so the Japanese.
Have you seen this?
Myth.
Have you seen this? No,
I haven't sat down and watched manga since the 20th century.
It's not manga; it's anime. It's manga only if it's in the printed page. Mm-hmm. But it's a really interesting show where it takes place in this alternate, kind of steampunky world. But they live in, the human race has all been put back behind 3 walls.
All right.
Because there are titans.
Yeah.
Big idiot titans.
Well, they're forces of nature. The titans, that's the idea that they were the children of time.
Well, they were the children. They were the children of matter.
Earth.
Yeah.
Right? And so that the titans, trapped in the underworld as they are the forces of magma and the geological pressure of the pushing up mountains and ripping apart oceans. And for me, the Titanomachy is like the ancient memory that we have of witnessing the tumultuous upheaval
absolutely
that led
forces
into the Ice
that are
Age.
so great,
geological forces where the living creatures of the earth were the earthquakes and the fires and the forests and the mountains.
Absolutely, the oceans, man.
Well, I hopefully get to talk to, because Amanda Yates just wrote a really interesting piece on one of my favorite subjects, the zombie apocalypse.
Oh.
And she began by talking about her job in L.A., where she was just in some industrial armpit. And it was just really moving to me, because it's that, for me, it's like that it's that burner dilemma of, I've got a lot of friends and colleagues in that space where with their art and their music, they can create this respite, this refuge from an otherwise like demeaning, demoralizing existence, because they don't believe in the day-to-day stuff that they're doing to survive. And so the zombie apocalypse has become the sort of myth by which we interpret this, why are we staggering around with all these other people who are sleep deprived and starved of real nutrients and stumbling through their day like, hopped up on, commercial pharmaceuticals and God knows what else. And I love that she talks about this bumper sticker on a truck near where she works that said something like, the hardest part about the zombie apocalypse will be pretending that I'm not excited about it. And I think that really is, I think, the persistence of that myth in like TV world of everyone who goes home and just Netflixes out until they have to wake up and do it all over again. That what's so seductive about the apocalypse myth, of ending the world, is that many people want their world to end.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trapped in the workaday life. It's and with no greater cause for their life. I think I've never been in this situation. Rarely have I been in this situation where maybe in a long past life, but the situation where it's work and play and sleep, and then you start it all over again and work and play and sleep with no greater purpose except for like saving up for a vacation every 3 months or every 6 months.
Screaming from that.
It is
power
the life
under my control I wielded in order to escape.
It is as horrible as the zombie apocalypse to me. And zombie apocalypse is not something I personally at all would like to see.
What I love about a zombie apocalypse is someone who does their zombie homework. I think that's what I loved most about Amanda's piece today, was that she went back to the origins of zombie medicine and its role in the enslavement, literal enslavement
of people,
of blacks from Africa. Its origin is in voodoo magic. And so one of my favorite Harvard professors, Wade Davis, who wrote The Serpent and the Rainbow, was made into a very cheesy horror movie in the 80s.
It's not a cheesy horror movie.
No, well, if you go back and read the book is great.
Yeah, it is. It's a great book.
The book is fantastic. But because you realize the origins of zombie medicine in the voodoo and secret societies and their ability to use pharmaceutical, basically power of plants, to enslave people in the sugarcane fields. What's wild is we're seeing, in a way, the classical definition of zombie medicine is just, it's with a new set of antidepressants.
Yeah.
But the brave new world of pharmaceutical suppression of all that individuality and
Brave
chaos.
New World is the proper reference there.
Right.
Really.
What's wild is, instead of it being Soma, where Aldous Huxley made it a modern thing, where Soma was this clean, proper pharmaceutical churned out by factories. But what Amanda recalls is that it is an ancient tradition, really. That's black magic, the use of medicine to enslave and dominate.
Or it is just simply the use of drugs. Throughout time, why would you feed your soldiers mead at the end of the day? Why? Because you need to keep them sedate and happy.
Yeah. Well, why is it that the German Reinheitsgebot, right, the German beer purity law, what the emperor declared many years ago was that the only herb that could be used to make beer, because beer was basically water, wheat, or whatever your sugar source was, your mash, and then yeast, which they recognized later. At the time, the original beer purity law, they don't mention yeast because they didn't know how that magic worked. And the hops flour. The humulus.
That's water,
lupus,
malt, barley, and hops.
Right, and the barley, the malt, it's barley malt. It's the malt that is the sugar source is made from grain. It's the carbohydrate in the grain. So so for wheat beer, Hefeweizen, right? It would be wheat, or barley would be the source for other beers. But the key is that the herb with the medicinal effect. Humulus, it's in the same family. It's in the cannabis family. Yeah,
it's actually the closest relative.
And the pagan Germans would put all kinds of herbs in their beer. But interestingly, under the Holy Roman Empire, the one herb that was allowed was the one that sort of was a phytoestrogen, made you sort of dopey, made you sort of feminine. And as a result, the beer drunk is famous for guys either getting teary-eyed or emotional.
Is that where my tits come from?
So that's the thing. That's where your tits come from. It's the thing is, it's the alcohol. Damn. We as a because we're so focused on one classical type of chemistry, we're like, oh, it's alcohol, wine, beer, no. And alcohol, it's a classification of chemicals is what it is, but the alcohol may be the distortion effect, just like sucking on nitrous oxide is going to distort your senses. But the medical effect of beer, as opposed to the effect that wine has or other distilled alcohols, comes from that herb,
from the hops.
And it's so fascinating to
Populus
me.
lupulus,
humulus, or something like that. And we're going to have to Wikipedia that, kids. Or else you can
we get that. I'm pretty sure it's Populus lupulus. That's a fun one. Serpent in the Rainbow. You know what I think was the most important thing about that?
No, well, tell me.
The really most important thing about Serpent in the Rainbow, I think, was Lisa Bonet's bush.
Wow.
Remember that?
Well, Lisa Bonet
was that
gorgeous.
shit?
Oh,
Holy shit. And in full frontal nudity.
Yeah, which I think that's what makes a horror movie.
Make movies a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's what made horror movies in the 70s, frankly, was all
Lisa
the nudity.
Bonet.
Yeah, because there you were, late night UHF television and stuff.
How did Lenny Kravitz fuck that one up, dog?
I don't know, man. Lenny probably has his pick of the litter.
Yeah, but still, come on. That's a queen.
Do we have some music we can cut to? Because
we might, because I think the party is going to still go on, and we're going to play some James.
Yeah.
We'll play some James Houlihan, then we'll be right back.
Well, I think we need to have Amanda on the show one of these days, because everything she says in text is so smart that we should just have the lady speak for herself.
Amanda who?
Amanda Yates is,
okay.
What we're going to do is, I'm going to reach out because I wanted to have, Lisa Bonet's bush is also pretty liberating, she says.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty much a fan of Bush in general around here, but Lisa Bonet especially.
Not necessarily Bush. You don't have to.
I would think that pretty much the whole package, for me, it really is. It's from tip to toe.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm all about.
I love George O'Keeffe, though.
With straight flowers that look like it. Yeah, there
absolutely.
You go. I think George O'Keeffe really focused on something for us, because now every time I get a flower picture from somebody in particular I'm thinking of, that's George O'Keeffe is pretty much what springs to mind.
Every time I spend the night in my old bedroom at my mother's house, I'm surrounded by George O'Keeffe. So.
Why? Oh, right, there you go.
Yeah,
okay, so maybe we have some music to cut to at this point? Or?
We do. We're going to play... No, we're going to play some... We're going to play a song by James Houlihan.
She's also beautiful in that movie with Mickey Rourke, also about voodoo. So there's another voodoo movie with
Serpent in the Rainbow.
No, Mickey Rourke is
in that movie.
What movie was that then?
Well,
shit.
Angel Heart. Angel Heart. She said.
Angel Heart. That's
no wonder we don't remember. She don't show her.
God,
bush.
I saw Mickey Rourke a couple 2 months ago.
He came in for coffee, right?
Came in for coffee, and I snuck up.
What kind of coffee? How does Mickey take his coffee?
He had just a regular.
Ladies and gentlemen,
large cappuccino.
Large cappuccino.
Large cappuccino in a mug.
What folks don't know about Johnny O is that you're also barista to the stars.
I am best coffee in LA, but
he's pretty much. That's why I ended up doing the show at the Cafe in a Galleria, because I was like,
"Hey, did you bring coffee?"
Damn, that's a good cup of coffee.
Damn it, no.
He did not bring coffee. So
I suck.
We're sitting up here bragging about you.
I know, and we're gonna have to do the ritual Aztec cutting on you. It's nothing personal.
That's
it's
fine.
business.
That's fine. I have some organs you can have.
Good, because they get a good price for them south of the border.
But later, let's keep up with this because I like where we're going here today, and I want to keep this party going. I want to keep it going. I want to. Well, yeah, I want to hear some music though because today I really want to. I really want to be about
Adam is because the moon is in Leo. Thank goodness. So
well,
that's
RadioTitans.com.
Maybe why I'm
James
on the show
Houlihan,
today.
Party goes on.
And did we just cut the music?
There we are back. Thank you, James Houlihan.
Yeah.
The party goes on. That's my theme song, man. I love that song.
Well,
and if you're lucky enough to see him, that's one of the songs where he does his
had this theme
bullhorn thing.
You had brought up because James Houlihan was in the Campbell. Who am I thinking? Joseph Campbell.
And
he was in a Joseph Campbell study group, right? And then you mentioned Joseph Campbell to me this morning. You're like,
that's kind of what we're about
the
today.
hero's journey.
The monomyth and the hero's journey.
Yeah, right. So my thing is like every boring screenwriting lecture and workshop in this town rehashes that poor old man to death. Like George Lucas didn't squeeze him for every drop of life.
He did not. I absolutely not. I think Campbell is still actually very, very relevant to everything.
No. So one of the people who dropped by this morning, there is a giant bag of esoteric books in the freaking lobby because a very unusual scholar who, by the way, one of his things was he had worked in the Joseph Campbell Library over at the Pacific Graduate Institute.
And he has a top knot like both me and Jake.
Yeah, well, he's off to see the Brahmins of the Vedanta Society today, so we'll see how that goes. They can be very conservative group of individuals, but they have lots to conserve, so I can understand that. But that's why, and one of the things we were talked about was the unendliche Geschichte, right? The unending story or the never-ending story. That
was very good pronunciation of that word. That's a tough one. Buddy.
Yeah, I think so. I would like when it comes to the Krauts, they all seem like I have my German friends that seem to feel my accent will just never get there, but it's such a great language.
It is.
It's too bad it ended up on the wrong side of history a couple times. But the
really
well, that was the thing. Is like
I don't know about this.
Here's a traumatic memory from my youth.
Oh.
In 1991, when the Germany's reunified,
yeah.
I sat there at Easter as my various uncles were like, "Oh, you're going to have to go fight the Krauts again."
Yeah.
They were dead serious. They're like, "You're gonna have to go kill Jerry's."
Yeah.
And then my father came to my rescue. He was like, "No. He'll have to go to El Salvador, Nicaragua, or something. Yeah. He'll go down and he'll be in the shit."
That was the scarier. Colombia.
Well, but my thing is, I was like, let me get this straight. It's not a question of. It's just a question of where. Right. So anyway, never mind that. So I've got a lot of great love for the Germans and the Prussians, and
but we were on the never-ending story. That's in the notes today because I knew it would come up because it's such a refinement of Campbell, and then even before Campbell.
Yeah, but that's the thing is
Mikhail
Enda before Joseph Campbell.
Yes,
I think did something else where it was more about the hero, like. Fantasia, right? The idea of creating an imaginary world. If you remember, the key at the middle of the book, well, it's the end of the first movie, but it's the middle of the book, is he realizes the only way to save Fantasia is to make a wish.
It's
Fantasia.
No, it's not. It's not. It's
Fantastica.
Fantastica.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he makes in making wishes, he becomes that hero who's in the story.
But he also kills kills things, and his humanity decreases the more he does as it goes along in the second portion of the second act of the book.
He loses touch with the human child that he was a part of. No, it's a deep book because Mikhail Enda was a playwright in Germany after the war.
He was also
living in philosophical.
Well, no, he was definitely he was a philosopher, and he believed or at least it's what I've read is that he believed that there really was that we were almost in a Platonic way that there is the Fantastica was reality that. We are that
imaginal reality.
The imaginary reality is the real, right.
Imaginal.
The real
and the imaginal. It's idealism. It's the idea that there is a realm of the mind, right? A Platonic, pure world of ideas.
Real realm, and we are just the shadow. We are just the mirror,
chained in a cave, watching the reflection of our shadows on a
That's
wall.
right. As we're getting back with the fables
today. We're getting down with Plato
today. Today's theme is fables of long dead heroes.
Or that they tend to resurrect and come alive again.
They do.
I
was staying away from those resurrecting ones today because.
Oh gosh, didn't we do them on Easter?
Yeah, we've done them. We do those every week, and it's always going to come up. But
what was the name of the Jewish
guy? I like
the
ones who actually die. In Shiva? No, Shiva.
No, he keeps coming back, man.
Yeah,
he's like
Shiva.
he's like a bad habit.
Yeah. But one of the things that Thomas Bullfinch.
Oh,
right,
God
Bullfinch's mythology.
That's right. That's right.
It's funny because I was doing my research this week, and it's funny. It's one of those books that I remember, probably the headiest book I remember reading as like an 8-year-old. Was Bullfinch's mythology.
Oh, no, that's one of the classics, along with The Golden Bough by Sir James.
Yeah.
Which is what, that was the thing, is I was in the unusual position of having to explain why plants are so damn important to poetry. Like, I don't have to explain this to the South Americans. They get it. Like, the jungle, the poetry, it's all one. In Western poetry, people are educated by, like, English teachers that poetry is something that's printed down on a page and collected in poetry collections, and you have to go to like the Iowa Writers Workshop, and I'm like, no, that's how you kill magic, there's nothing left. And so I had to go all Robert Blake on him about like, no, if you're not communing with magical trees in the forest with druids, you ain't doing poetry. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I got to lay down the line here, and we went through a lot of trouble talking about
that's a pretty absolutist thing. I'm
going to go absolute on that. If you're not divinely inspired, you're not playing in the league. You're batting AAA.
You don't really have to be divinely inspired. You have to be mortally inspired.
No, I'm going to say that if your poetry isn't divinely inspired, you're in the wrong graduate program.
I think it could be mortally inspired. If you're cutting yourself every day, it's good.
My thing is, why chant a magic spell by someone who's so clearly haunted by demons? Careful going there, right?
Yeah.
For me, be careful who's presented to you as a hero.
That's true.
Because my thing is, when I've looked at my heroes, I hunted them down. But for me, the books weren't enough. It was clear that books were written by men, often highly flawed men with bad skin who hid in small rooms and wrote on typewriters their diseased ideas. And that was the thing of like, I don't care how impressive the teacher is at the front of the room who presents their ideas as important to the 20th century. When you meet that weasel smelling of stale tobacco and rotten alcohol and their withered skin and their unhappiness and you hear about their ex-wife and all that, it's like, be careful. If you repeat and chant his magic spells, you might end up just as trapped as that poor fool. So that's the thing, is absolutely be careful whose poetry you chant, what ideas you read, which myths you let into your mind. If you let them colonize your mind, you have only yourself to blame for the crippling myths they leave you with.
There's a very good drunken poet. God, what the fuck is his name? No. Bukowski's great, but no. There's a band.
John Fontaine?
It's a band from Minnesota called The Replacements, man. And one of my favorite songs by them goes, "Irresponsibility is my closing thread." And that's the intro to it. It's called Careless. And I prefer to be fucking careless. Little fucking carelessness is kind of a good thing sometimes. Why not? I mean, fuck the consequences.
Well, I mean, a little carelessness where the consequences aren't so bad.
I mean, don't rob a bank, right?
Well, I mean,
but stay
in control. Don't be
stay in control.
Don't go too far to the left.
Don't go too far. But being so careful with your life is just.
I'm kind of envious of responsible people, man, because I'm like, why wasn't I created to be more responsible?
Not me, man. I see pictures of them on that computer thing, and I see them with their children, and I know. Running 5Ks on the weekend, and it's like, God, oh my, those people.
No, I love them all dearly.
I love them. I just do not envy their life whatsoever. I kind of think.
No, I mean,
God,
what's weirdly uncomfortable is when they envy your life, and you're like, dude, you're envying an image you see on Facebook because it's highly selected by people who take pictures of me.
No, they would fucking love it.
That's true. But the thing is, I'm always trying to set him like, dude, I love your kids. Your kids' pictures are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Your life is beautiful. Be happy with what you got.
I'm empty at night because I don't have any children, you know?
This is so much fun. We got to get the Oracle of Los Angeles on here. She's dialed in. She's
the
like,
Oracle of Los Angeles.
Going through, yeah. Like, so someone I know through the White Witch.
Does she divine like the oracles at Delphi?
If a girl doesn't divine, you got to send her back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You return that merchandise to send her.
Oh.
Yeah, if she can't divine, then what are you doing with her?
That's pretty
You know
interesting.
what I mean? Like, for example, Rachel right here. If she didn't divine freaking
I've never seen
sound
Rachel do
technology,
traditional divination.
No, please. Traditional divination,
Okay.
go over cross town for that crap. I'm talking about technology. If you can't make silicon crystals hum with the music of the spheres, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why Rachel runs this place, and I worship her like a goddess.
Yeah, she's
because
pretty
the
awesome.
silicon crystals sing with a very choir of angels.
She sang with the choir of angels
and
last
her
week.
Shoes, actually, I think at one point in a dream, her shoes were singing in a choir of angels.
That's
I think
pretty,
I dreamed that.
See, I'm not the only one thinking about your shoes, Rachel.
No. I just.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Shoes. I'm not big. I like bare feet. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's just that women like shoes so much,
I know.
and I like for them to be happy. So for me, like understanding, it's like what my Uncle Jose said. What did Uncle Jose said? He said a gentleman must only know 3 professionals: a florist, a jeweler, and a chocolatier.
Chocolatier.
Pretty much. Right.
That sounds crazy.
What are you talking about? Uncle
really.
Jose was dialed, dude. I mean, think about it.
That just seems like catering to women. No way, man. I mean,
that's
women are made to
what
cater
we
to
do.
men.
You've never dated a French
man.
woman.
Have you ever read the stories of the kings from the Bible?
Yeah, and then the queens. Did you read about them? Queen of Sheba showed up and schooled Solomon.
Yeah.
That was the wisest
Queen
cat
of
ever.
Sheba,
Yeah,
I
one
just found
sister
out
shows
about her.
up, and that dude, the wisest king in
keep up on this
history, is like
conversation.
Fucked up.
drooling,
Hey,
drooling like an
wait a second. I
animal.
finally get to keep up on the conversation.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Jump in.
I just found out about Queen Sheba and her going to King Solomon and getting impregnated and going back to Ethiopia. Yeah, I just found all out about
Really? Because for me, it's like the best part of the Bible is when a beautiful sister shows up, and like you're like, all right.
No, the best part of the Bible for me are to hear about the kings and how they conquer lands and how they have plenty. No, that's not boring.
I like
man.
queens.
I like chanting.
War is life,
chanting down Babylon,
and life is war.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's how I was raised.
Well, war is bad for
that's
people.
Somehow, I'm going to quote from Amanda here. Somehow, dominator culture and death cult culture are locked in a dance together. Could it be that the emperor's unwillingness to integrate his own shadow is causing us all a shit ton of problems?
Well, I'm just saying, man is always going to create themselves as gods, so why not shape yourself into the god that you want to be?
Well, I mean, that's what we do. We are the gods that we want to be. I was thinking today is that absolutely I have envisioned myself. The reason I've been doing all this research on the Titans and the Titanomachy and the whole issue is because I'm really trying to see myself and materialize myself as a kaiju. And I want to be bigger than this building. I was thinking, well, this studio where we're at, it's pretty high up, but I'd like that to be at my knee level when I am physically like.
Now, what's the anime movie
maybe,
I'm thinking
maybe
about?
100 meters,
Princess Mononoke.
Oh, not Yoro Tsudoki? Look that one up. Wiki that shit, people.
Okay, he just went
Legend
old
of the
hipster on us.
Overfiend.
I gave him that blank look that I give my dates when they talk about the anime they've been watching, and I was like, "Is that the one that goes Akira?"
No, that's Akira.
Yeah, I know.
That's
the last
Akira.
one I remember.
No, I mean,
I liked Princess Mononoke. The kaiju are giant.
Mononoke.
Yeah.
Oh wait, in Mononoke, those
Remember
aren't really.
What isn't that a kaiju?
No,
like a giant
those aren't
freaking,
kaiju. Those are spirit animals.
Kaze.
Those. Yeah.
Is that Kaze? I don't know.
Yeah,
Someone,
I
if
think
you know
that's
your
the
Japanese,
word.
I hope Ino Yuki, if he's listening, or somebody else who is an expert in Japanese culture. Although we could have had him here this morning.
I wish Robert Razzo was listening because that boy knows.
Yeah, seriously.
I know some fat white boys who know their freaking Japanese terms. Man.
Wow. Yeah. Right. We'll get some otaku in here. That's
I know a skinny white.
No, we don't let any otaku.
Yeah, skinny white boys don't know anything about manga.
By Japanese, he speaks Japanese fluently.
Yeah.
His name's Tyler Schubert.
Tyler Schubert.
Schubert. That's a good Japanese name.
Yeah.
It descended from the Schubert samurai clan. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, he's
Yeah.
from Texas, dude.
Right. The Schuberts, by way of Texas, were a formidable samurai clan.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, not really.
No, I made that up, actually.
You know...
No, because it was actually, that was the thing. It was, so there I was. I got to tell the story of this
Tell
Buddhist
this story, buddy.
So I ended up helping to officiate a Buddhist funeral yesterday. And it was cool because so Ino Yuki, he's the new Zen priest in town, and if you want like a clean shop boy, the Long Beach Buddhist Church is a lovely little spot.
We do not do endorsements of.
I'm not. Okay. So hold on. I'm just saying that like homeboys in town, like
build your own church.
Yeah, do your own
kill
thing,
your
man.
Idols, kill your gods, kill everyone.
I'm just saying.
Or kill me.
So. Those of us do the work.
True church. It is the Church of Subgenus.
A lot of people got a yap about what to do. Here's the thing: is I don't give a damn what variety of we work for Burger King or McDonald's. My thing is that people need to eat lunch, right? So if you're there for babies, when people die, they get married. You marry, you bury, you help people through those transitions in life that are so big they can't handle it. Their workaday thing is when death comes along and they have to face their mortality, people have a hard time with that. And as a professional specialist, regardless of which brand name chain you're a part of, never mind that. For me, the craft is, can you do the teaching? Can you do the healing? Can you manage the process by which people are born and die and get married and otherwise move through their life and need help through those transitions? So I don't care what kind of funeral you have. You could have a Hindu funeral, a Muslim funeral. I'm there for you, baby. I will make potato salad. I show up with potato salad. I hold hands with old ladies. I bring walk through. When old dudes freak out, I'm right there for them. My thing is, it doesn't even matter what kind of funeral it is. Certain things have to happen, like freaking potato salad. That's my religion. Is someone's got
potato salad.
The person who doesn't know what to do at the funeral, you get them chopping potatoes.
Let's go.
So I want to make that point of. I forgot the point I was going to make.
Yeah, because
where do you want to make?
I want to go into something. I was thinking, what's the best way to shut Jake up ever?
What's that?
Play his band. And for the first time here, we're gonna play a song. It's not a finished track, but we're gonna play a song. We're gonna start off. We're gonna have a little music block here, people, because today I was feeling in a super music mood, man. Because music saved my life this week. And this music block, it's kind of special this week because there's a lot of things that I really put a lot of time into picking these next few songs. And I've seen the life force and the last couple weeks just exploding out of Echo Park Lake because the lotus flowers are blooming. And we got a story about that. The first song we're going to play. I've also met a couple of the people. So I'm gonna play some Rome too. Rome de Luce.
Oh, Rome de Luce.
De Luce. I'm bad with him.
Epictetus. Oh, I want to know because.
So we're gonna play a song by him too because I miss Rome. I like seeing Rome. I've had to miss him play at a couple shows.
He was up in Santa Rosa this weekend.
Yeah, but I had to miss him play at a show. I think a week and a half ago. And it was too bad because I really love to see him play. He moves me, man. And then Wednesday night, being a little under the weather this week, I was only able. I wanted to make it over to Lexington because Wednesday night was a funny night because Lexington, a great band, Versus Color, who we featured here, they were playing the same night as Rivermaker and James Houlihan and Stereo Monster at the Schmackland, and it was right down the street. And we almost went. I almost dragged Austin over to go over to Lexington right before they played, but then he had to go on. And I wanted to see I want to see Rivermaker.
Yeah,
that's 5-star. So we're gonna play a little bit. We're gonna play a song from Versus Color, and then I'm gonna play with the last two songs. Yeah.
And then we'll be back with Epictetus.
But the last two songs that we're gonna play, these are songs I found in the modern cab. I'm not really driving anymore because I'm too drunk all the time. No, that's not true, people. That's not true, Mama. I swear. No, but I am. So I'm too drunk all the time. I can't ever drive. No, I'm trying to lower my stress levels but I took a car, take a car every once in a while, and this week two of the drivers who I got. One of them, I actually had met this guy a few times before, but we had talked about him being a musician and whatnot. But he was driving in the car and he's like, "Oh yeah, we blah 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 blah," and yeah, I get a blah blah blah. I get some music. So this is Zach Smith. Yeah, you can find him on Bandcamp. Zach A. Smith at Bandcamp, and then also another band called June Cat. Who was another driver I ended up with. And they, we ended up talking, and it's like, oh, yeah, and I got to listen to music. I hope they're listening today. And we're going to play a little bit of their music at the end. So let's hear Lotus Flower by Feel.
Yeah!
Which Feel played last night. Yeah! Feel played last week. That's 2 shows in a week. I don't think Feel has played that many shows in a week ever. Ever. And, last Sunday, man, Feel knocked it out the park. It was great. It was great, man.
Yeah.
And so let's get this going, and we'll be back in a few after our long hard rock walk.
Of Echo Park Lake, a lotus blossom dancer, lily flower singer, the living rose. All day she's trapped in the stone statue, swirling as energetic earth fairies flying in crystalline formation. At dawn and dusk she emerges to dance among the blooms and blossoms in the dimly bending radiation of our mother star. On the last solar flash she retires, riding the starlight's twinkle down beneath the ripples of the urban pond, where unquiet souls linger whose muddy graves lay consecrated by the lake. What you see as a woman is really your human brain attempting to assemble some sense out of a mysterious power of nature that only appears as a form of conscious living being personified. She might have been human once, or wished to be, so took the form of a priestess queen who was once mistaken for a goddess, which led to the tragic loss of her long-forgotten people. René Breton recognized her immediately, of course, from the residue of a curse cast by a spurned silent movie starlet on him many years ago. But even the legendary adventurer was not strong enough to stop the great gaucho from making chase once he spotted his ultimate quarry. The merry outlaws watch helplessly as Manuel watches, helpless. She is not game to be pursued, but the one who springs the trap, desiring the instant gratuity of mortal infatuation to be joined with boundless ardor for eternal life. She enjoys her moment in a twilit zone, luring the hunter to his doom with her being as bait and bottomless embrace as the prize. She desires only great company to keep while attending to her duties as daughter of the lake, mother of the algae and fishes, sister of the souls who float from the bodies there buried. She wants someone who will suffer endless loneliness together with her, two alone yet alive.
Shot by the can go a little further. Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourners, parading in the wake of sad relations as their shoes fill up with water. Maybe I'm too young to keep good love from going wrong, but tonight you're on my mind, so you'll never know. Broken down, I'm hungry for your love with no way to feed it. Where are you tonight? You know how much I need it. Too young to hold on, too old to just break free and run. Sometimes a man gets carried away when he feels like he should be having his fun, but he's much too blind to see the damage he's done. 'Cause sometimes a man must awake to find that really he has no one. So I'll wait for you and I'll burn. Oh, will I ever see your sweet return? Oh, will I ever learn? Oh, lover, you should have come over, 'cause it's not too late. Lonely is the room, the bed is made, the open window lets the rain in. Burning in the corner is the only one who dreams he had you with him. My body turns and it yearns for a sleep that won't ever come. It's never over. My kingdom for a kiss upon her shoulder. It's never over. All my reaches for a smile when I slip so soft against her. It's never over. All my blood for the sweetness of her laughter. It's never over. She's the tear that hangs inside my soul forever. Maybe I'm just too young to keep good love from going wrong. Lover, you should have come over, 'cause it's not too late. It's not too late. 'cause it's not too late. You said in place, and your feelings don't mean a thing to me. And I know you don't give a damn about these feelings too. Yeah, you set in stone. When things change, so does your brain. And I know you don't give a damn about these feelings too. Ooh, yeah, you set in place, and your feelings don't mean a thing to me. And I know you don't give a damn about these feelings too. Yeah, you set in stone. When things change, so does your brain. And I know you don't give a damn about lovingness, loving you, and loving me. Is it playing your mindset? Is it master plan? Is it playing your mindset? Is it master plan? Since I know my own heart, and this must be true love. If the feelings are real, then I can't pass her up. Is a bad man when you know that sex is the case. Is a bad man when you know that your heart can't replace it. I take off your shirt and you show me your twins. Can I take off your skirt and my hands touching skin? It's a bad way to start such a lovely romance. Come on, girl. Is it playing your mindset? Is the master plan? Is it playing your mindset? Is the master plan? Is it playing your mindset? Is it the master plan? Is it playing your mindset? Is it the master plan? Oh, you look so mighty fine, baby, I just wanna make you mine. Well, I don't need your love. Oh, you look so mighty fine, baby, I just wanna make you mine. Well, I don't need your love. Oh, you look so mighty fine, baby, I just wanna make you mine. Well, I don't need your love. Oh, you look so mighty fine, baby, I just wanna make you mine. Well, I don't need your love. Oh, you've got those legs and those lips and those moving hips, singing. Half the time I'm just your working man, and the other half I'm your handyman. Well, now, all this time I've been your fooling man. Ooh, all this time I've been your fooling man. Well, I don't need your love. Ooh, yeah, I don't need your love. Ooh, I don't
drinking all over town. Never drunk, but I'm falling down. Is it too late to clean up this mess? 'Cause I got no job and I'm penniless. Have no fear for getting old, 'cause this is just a game I play. Hard to do what you love the most. We drove out here to the west coast. Choose your battles and fight within. The war is won when you're traveling. Yeah. All this time since we last spoke, just a game I'll play. All this time since we last spoken, you've broken down. Take that weight up off your shoulders, send it down, down to the ground. Never got enough, but it was all that you could have. You only got to see the world without the other half. Other half. Have no fear for getting old. 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 Have no fear for getting older. You don't look at me with conscious eyes while you hold me far away from your chest. You don't think that you're telling a lie. It's hard to learn that your maybe is a yes. And every other minute's another 10. Just when my thoughts turned into words, I felt my teeth fall out. And when I thought you'd finally heard, all of your doubts were all you could see. Made it too easy to disagree.
This is radio. Or something
Radio
like
Titans.
This is radio, man.
Radio Titanomachy.
I have to explain what the fuck I'm doing with my life to everyone. And because I make coffee for a living. And you know, what we're doing here is radio on Radio Titans on the Sunday show with Johnny O and the great Walton Jordan.
Yeah, that's me.
At fucking Fireside Troop, we make art. You know, Caffeine and Galleria, we make art and coffee. You know, but on the Sunday show on Radio Titans, we make art here, people. I hope you like it. And that was Freudian, because I just said we make art. And I meant to say we make radio, which is funny, because that may be telling, because what we do is make art.
It's all art. Everything.
But the work we put in at Radio Titans, like here in a studio, like I was, you know, I recently started watching Maron, right? That's how you say that?
Mark Maron.
Mark Maron. I want to say Marone, but
He's a bit of a Marone.
I've been speaking Spanish as my primary language, so my accents are hard to come back. But I watched his show. Started watching his show this week, and it's about a podcaster. And I guess that's what we do. We podcast, sort of. I never like that word. I don't like proprietary words. I don't like words. I don't like new words that use proprietary terminology. Like, you know, pod. The reason it's called a pod is because it was a podcast on the iPod. And I wonder if Apple even owns the trademark to the word podcast, or they couldn't get it.
Pod is not trademarkable.
No, that's true. Podcast. It's too much.
This could be anything you want it to be.
Well, this is what we're doing is live radio.
Well, it's
right now,
talking
because you
webpage.
can sit out there and listen to us. A talking webpage.
Yeah, it's a sound file
That
on
thing.
the internet. That's all podcasting is.
Well, yeah, MP3s, dog. MP3s. Yo, rocking the MP3s. I remember 2001. You know, the death of Napster and that whole thing.
Napster was
You had to
great.
move to LimeWire.
Yeah, that was great.
And,
dude. That was one of the
torrents.
greatest. Man, that was like the best thing that ever happened. Napster.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That
It
dude
was great.
Yo, I'm glad he got his money through Facebook.
But
man. I'm so glad that dude made
that's
it.
not Facebook. That's something else.
No, he got down with.
We are not.
He
the-
got
He
down
was
with-
an early
business.
investor in Facebook.
Okay, I'm
Sean,
glad.
He
Sean
talked this
Fanning?
way. He talked this way, smoothed up in that motherfucking man. But they wanted him there. They wanted him there from the word go, because he was just down. He was just like, here, boom, boom, we'll make this happen. And he showed him how to make it happen, dog. You know what I mean? So God bless that young man.
Yeah.
Everything about him.
It's amazing what like a little piece of code can do, man.
Yeah.
A right approach to a little piece of code, and shit, man, it can change the world in a kind of insignificant way.
Yeah.
Because here on Titans, man, Radio fucking Titans, we are Titans. If you don't know what a Titan is, look it up on the wiki. But I'll tell you, Titan's a fucking giant.
I'm more of an Olympian because the Olympians outthought the Titans, though.
That's right.
That's just how it is.
The Titans are imprisoned in the underworld.
Yeah, see, I'm
Although, when I was on
I mean,
Hawaii
if you want
a
to be
few
a
years back,
brickhead, that's
truly
that's your problem.
immortal, though.
I've seen a Titan released from the underworld. It's
Yeah.
not a pretty sight.
No. I've seen a Titan release from the underworld.
Yeah.
Well, not from the underworld, but from the overworld, actually.
No, what happens is it mixes
Nice.
with the overworld. What happens is Pele, Persephone,
Oh, God,
queen
yeah.
of the underworld, she lets forth this enormous fart of volcanic ash. And basically a volcano will vent such a creature. We don't even know what chemosynthetic bacteria are clinging to the particles of dust of all those heavy metals and elements that are released into the atmosphere when a great Titan spirit is released from the underworld. This horrible, what they call VOG on Hawaii, the volcanic smog.
Yeah.
When the volcanic smog, in this case, it mixed with a storm off of the Pacific that came and was raining on the jungles of Puna. And the mixture of this titanic spirit from the underworld that mixed with the storm god and just rained down on the jungle, and the clouds of the microbial disease, those evil spirits crept out of the jungle. And I was in quite a state. I was hallucinating, I suppose you might say, from some feverish dream, but I don't know what infected me.
That's wild. I met a wind titan. because the place where I grew up was a very windy fucking place. And we have the General Santa Ana, the Santa Anas.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, yeah, that's when it gets windy. I've seen it a couple times. It's cool. But no, man, it's just like sunshine. If it's sunshiny or if it's going to be 300 days a year of wind in that wind tunnel where Santa Ana really lives. And if you've driven down the 15 or you've driven up the 15 freeway in California from your way to L.A. to Vegas, I shouldn't have to explain it. Everyone should have seen a movie that shows where it's at. And if you're driving up there, you sometimes can get hit by these winds that are 40, 50 miles. You know, it's just mild, severe weather alert, whatever, you know. And then some days it'll get 70, 80, 90, right in the same little valleys. And these are suburban Southern California sprawl cities of hell that just get blasted by the wind. And the summer wind that's coming, the August summer wind, I guarantee there'll be a day I can point it out to you. And I can send you out to hell. And it's like fire with no fire. Because it's so hot and such a blast furnace. And the sky just beats down bright, washed out blue. And the wind just flies by. And the palm trees, the imported palm trees from Mexico, all fly sideways. And they stand like 70 feet tall. But man, in those winds, they're down to like 30, 40 feet because they're almost sideways. And you see pictures of other kinds of palm trees like that. That's hurricane force shit, you know? 70 to 90, that's kind of like a mild tornado. They would call it a tornado back east. But it's such a large weather pattern that it is something like a Titan. You know, the weather pattern that creates that is a condition that comes from the trade winds.
Yeah, and it's wild is they are dissipative systems. They are mathematically similar to organic systems in that they have a consistent form, and yet material energy passes through them, and the form is maintained over a period of time. So it's like an organic creature in that it's an energetic being. Well,
the cool thing with wind, with atmospheric science, like as a general meteorology, we don't have to call it atmospheric science. We can just call it meteorology, like simple climate science. You know, you can always the rule, the Boyle's, what is it? The ideal gas law is pressure times
Boyle's
volume.
Law.
No,
PV
that
equals NRT.
Boyle's law is derived from the ideal gas law.
PV equals NRT.
But pressure times volume equals the number of atoms, number of pieces,
times the constant times temperature.
Gas constant, which is like 6 point something, blah, 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 times the temperature.
Right.
And so when you go to the planet size climate thing, our volume, we know that's fixed. So it kind of drops out. No, the volume is on a general scale fixed, unless you're looking at certain specific things.
No, that's the kind of assumption you have to make to simplify the math.
Yeah.
The fact is the volume of the gaseous atmosphere is probably not fixed.
Anyone who took quantitative analysis
but the thing is, you have this massive biomass that's constantly absorbing like oxygen and carbon dioxide and then releasing oxygen or carbon dioxide, depending on whether it's a plant or an animal. But that dynamic balance between the plants, the animals, that you constantly have pressure into the atmosphere and constantly pressure out, as you know, with, for example, ocean acidification, where you see carbon dioxide in the atmosphere transform into carbonic acid in the ocean, like ocean acidification. But that's what you have is the hydrosphere, the liquid membrane of the planet, is always interacting with the gaseous membrane of the planet, the atmosphere. And that's interacting with the soil, right? The foam of all these microbes constantly processing the mineral. So for me, it's like, that's part of the problem when we build these mathematical models and then declare we're overpopulated or we're all going to die. And for me, it's like, no, we've utterly failed to understand the organic intelligence and flexibility of the planet.
Well, absolutely. And I think you have just hit on the point. We just came across the solution to one of America's gripping problems, which is the stupid argument over climate change. And wait, hear me out, brother.
Yeah.
Here, let me tell you. So it's about this. We came across a great example. Jake is totally right. What Jake said, let me translate there, is that there's a bunch of things that suck in oxygen. Every time the planet breathes, it sucks in some oxygen. And then every
carbon
time,
dioxide, plants absorb carbon dioxide.
whatever, gas. It sucks in gas. I like to call it gas. All the gas in the atmosphere and all the other spheres. But it sucks all that matter in, and then it also excretes other matter. And so there's a constant, it's a homeostasis between the two.
Gaia-stasis is what Lovelock called it.
Yeah.
Right? That's the idea was that.
Well, but what I'm saying is that this is something that's totally true, totally big, and it is, I'm sure there are a bunch of science geeks out there who work their ass off to figure out the numbers and all the crazy equations that come up with an estimate that's like 3% better, so that it's not 97% right, it's 99.9.
Well, I mean, for me, your accuracy.
I think that forecasts and predictions, old-fashioned. What we're doing, we're not doing science here, people. We're doing art, so we're good enough with a 97% for most things.
Well, my thing is, who cares what your precision is if your accuracy is off?
Well, yeah, but
if your model is not accurate, it doesn't matter how precise.
So you can build an accurate model by holding certain things, and that's one of the things is that we hold certain things constant. So the volume, for example, yes, it changes. But does it change in a measurable rate for most things where pressure and temperature are? If we drop the rest of it out, we get pressure and temperature. Which might be Boyle's law.
I agree with
pressure and volume is Boyle's law, I think.
Let me know when you pass the ball.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm still talking. No, we're talking boring chemistry here on the air,
right, but
people.
My thing is, let me know
That's what you want to hear
is
boring chemistry, because I know people want one thing. Yeah. It's boring chemistry.
No,
they hate it. They hate it. It's like that show Breaking Bad. They only like it if he's burning people or something.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
Well, it makes it more interesting.
It does.
Here's the thing: is when you're engaged in natural philosophy, and you're standing around in togas or nicely tailored Italian suits with the men who rule the world. I like to think of the philosophers who made it possible, and I think of Arete of Cyrenaica, right? It's the old Greek colony in North Africa. And the Cyrenaic school was interesting because it was kind of from the Epicureans, but they were students of Socrates as well. And believed mostly that having a beautiful garden and good friends and good times was true wisdom in the world, and never mind too much the politics. And Aristippus, who was my favorite, I think I've talked about him before on the show. He was the one who said,
was he like an aristocrat who pissed?
No, Aristippus, he was aristocratic pussy. No, that was something else that happened.
Or piss.
He was the one who was in a shipwreck and then washed up on the shores of Rhodes, I believe. And then because he spoke perfect Greek, he was put in a toga and sent to the center of town and realized that true wealth, was everything you had that survived a shipwreck.
Absolutely. I believe in that. And
his daughter, it's the philosophers, it's the ladies that make it worthwhile. This is why we battle in the halls of power. Because part of what came up was this idea of yada yada, dominator culture, yada yada thing. And that like a lot of the yang energy in the esoteric circles sometimes I feel is underappreciated. And where, domination can have benefit, what you want is strengthen your ideas. And so I often inspired by the women who have the great thought. And so of Arete of Cyrene, it said, she has said to, this is Giovanni Boccaccio in the Renaissance had more access to her work than survives. And what he said was, she is said to have publicly taught natural and moral philosophy in the schools and academies of Attica for 35 years, to have written 40 books, and to have counted among her pupils 110 philosophers. She was so highly esteemed by her countrymen that they inscribed on her tomb an epitaph which declared that she was the splendor of Greece, and possessed the beauty of Helen, the virtue of Therma, the pen of Aristippus, the soul of Socrates, and the tongue of Homer.
Wow.
Amen. So that goes out to all the ladies.
Damn, we getting deep up in here. You know what is deep? I like some philosophy. I like the philosophy of Lisa Left Eye Lopes.
Yeah, I was going to
say
say
that's something I want to talk about today because I was thinking about it, and I heard there was this movie about it and all this, and I started reading up on it, and it's like, wow, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, TLC.
She was down. She was
hated that shit in the 90s.
You hated TLC?
Yeah,
I love TLC.
I was a little hipster white boy. Come on.
Yeah, I thought
it wasn't cool yet.
They were great.
It wasn't ironic.
I thought every last one of them was sexy as hell.
Yeah. Like all things hipster, be careful what you do ironically, and because you might find yourself loving it.
Be careful driving a Jeep in Central America, yo. Take those turns carefully.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the story.
T-Boz wrote this song right here as a poem. And they just read it, and they say, hey, girl, you got to make this into a fucking song. And she's like, no, it's just a poem. And they're like, no, you can turn this into a song. And boom, here it is right here.
It's a good philosophy, though, man. No, the thing about TLC, it comes off as, like, kind of rapping bullshit and pop R&B. But really, you listen to this shit, man. They got some serious messages. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Well, I'm not, I love this song, but I'm that type of guy who go chasing waterfalls.
This is like strong woman.
Well, that was the thing. So I had a good friend.
The hell I want to
you ain't chasing waterfalls.
Who lost a cousin in the same wreck?
Yeah.
Which she was in the truck with. Left Eye when it went down.
Wow.
So it was one of those, like the iconic moments where you remember where various rock stars were or where you were when they passed into the next world. Yeah. That's what the song is about.
That's what we call it in English, people dying. But no, I like the spiritual aspect of it. I think it's sad. It's really crazy sad, like
they were never the same after that.
Driving in South American countries is supposed to be pretty crazy. They never had another hit or nothing. And I would agree. Probably don't drive a Jeep. Drive a small car.
But they were out in the jungle or something, right?
Yeah, but you should have a little hatchback. Front-wheel drive hatchback can get you anywhere. Put a winch on that shit, and you don't even need that heavy of a winch because it's like an 1,800-pound car.
Go all-terrain.
Yeah, but it had to be a big Jeep because they were. They had like 6. It was an SUV, not a Jeep. It was bigger. It was like a Cherokee or something. It was a bigger SUV, like a truck. It's a full size, truck, and then hauling ass. And it is probably partially. Now I'm gonna be a dick here, but I think one of the things is like if you're an American driver, and I've seen it when I've been in Mexico driving, you see these American drivers in their SUVs driving like it's fucking America, and there's not supposed to be a mule in the middle of the fucking road. Serious. I mean, one of the things blew my mind, like the first time I drove down to Mexico, was seeing a little Datsun 210 with the motor taken out and a bunch of shit up front of it, a bunch of shit in back, and a freaking donkey pulling it down the highway in the middle of nowhere. We're like 20 miles out in the cut, from Tijuana.
And they let donkeys on the freeway?
It's Mexico.
But they let donkeys on the freeway? I don't even seem like that would be legal.
No, they don't let donkeys on the freeway, but it's Mexico.
Yeah, but they still got a police force, right? I've seen the police.
Are we really going to get into the Mexican police situation, like the Mexican security situation? Because good. It's kind of like, I know it's almost verboten in Southern California because, it's such an issue. No one really wants to talk about it. We all treat it as it's like our fun little thing. But yeah, it's fucked up. How why, it's in certain places it's a war zone. It's more killing and brutal killing. It's just but
the kind of killing that you can't even talk about, that's what's wild is like Western news
targeted political killings, and they cut people's heads off and put them on sticks,
or
and
cut the face off and sew it to a soccer ball.
Yeah, sew it to a soccer ball. Yeah.
Send it to your mama.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that, and then there was the time where they literally targeted a pregnant woman for shooting outside, and she was embassy staff. That's one of the few things that we like. Mexico's one of the few places where we have diplomatic immunity de jure, but de facto it's another case entirely. And that we have had this shadow war. It's interesting because in a way you can look at the entire terror war as a distraction from the real
Mexico.
Darkness
Absolutely.
of the drug war, because that war in Mexico is here.
Yeah.
They should just legalize all drugs.
Well, yeah, we should also be cool with Mexico, too. Like, you know.
Just, like, eliminate all that violence, like, overnight, man. Just
it would.
Just legalize that shit, man. Just, you know, I mean, if you want to be on cocaine, there's no reason you should be doing it illegally.
And you can. If you want to be on cocaine, you can. So it's a non-effect. It's a zero-effect policy.
That's right.
You know?
So, just let people fucking...
It's a negative effect policy,
just fucking
really,
let people do what they want to do. Let's keep America moving forward. Let's keep people working. And if they want to get high, they do whatever they want to do. You know, as long as they're working, who gives a fuck, man? If they're paying for it with their cash and they're not hurting nobody to do it, what's the problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Word.
I don't know.
And believe me, man, once you legalize it, a lot of people will stop doing it because they like doing illegal shit.
Yeah, because they don't want to be a scrub.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be a scrub. I see those.
So, you know, just if you legalize it, a lot of people might just stop.
Yeah. I think, you know, I never quit smoking weed until they legalized it. Till after I bought my first legal weed. You know? I'm sorry. Yeah. Medical marijuana, people. Medical marijuana.
That's the greatest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was great. You can send me your.
I mean, because weed is such not an issue.
Yeah, it was the best law we ever passed in California in my life.
Let the rest of these guys who are into heroin and cocaine and just let them do their fucking drugs, man.
I don't know, man, because it's a fucking problem though. But now I'm getting more Republican and conservative about it, and I really do believe like it's a fucking problem. You know, there is... The
problem is that Americans are dying in Mexico.
Yeah, there are, but there are also Americans dying in America from drugs made by American corporations or German corporations or English corporations or Canadian corporations. We put them in, like,
high-security places. And
but, I mean, they already have legalized drugs. They just legalize the drugs that they want to legalize. You know, it's more about drug policy is an issue where when you start getting into it, it's more about anything.
I think it should be more than just the drug dealers and the politicians who are making money from drugs.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the whole city should benefit from the power of drugs. The whole state, the whole country could benefit, and we could get stronger. Because only people who are benefiting from it are the politicians and the drug dealers. And let's just be honest. It's the politicians that allow everything to fucking happen. Because without their power, it wouldn't happen. You can believe that. If they wanted that shit to stop, it would stop over fucking night. They had that kind of power. They have the power to do whatever the fuck else they want to do. So believe me, if they said, yes, I really want this to stop, believe me, that drug problem, that so-called drug problem, would stop over fucking night.
Yeah. Well, we like our drugs as a country.
That's right.
You know, as a species, really, we like our drugs. You know, one of the things that makes us human more than any other is our escape, our desire to escape and dream, draw, write, sing, you know, to do things that make no sense. Yeah. It's not about survival. You know,
it is about survival.
It's not about survival.
It's always been about
humanity. And, you know, I
think
the basic life is about survival. Humanity is about refinement.
Yeah, I agree. It's enlightenment.
Ennoblement. All sorts of mints. All sorts of added blah blahs. I got +4 for my +4 points on my vigor points. Yeah, that's great. 4 experience points to vigor, please, because I don't want to be a scrub hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride. You know, it's funny. I in the 90s when that song came out, man, I was riding a bike, you know, OH, right? And so we were riding a bike around town, you know, and just loving it, not having a car. I don't even have a car, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't even have a TV, man.
I had
And I remember that song, and it was like, you know, you go out to a bar and you think you're cool, you come with your buddies, but you're a scrub now automatically because you ain't got a car. Oh, you're hanging out the passenger side, his best friend's ride, trying to holler at you. Oh, yeah, that's me. What's up, girl? Want fucking scrub? Yeah. Now, that would not be funny, except that I used that line more than once.
Did it ever work for you?
No, man. I didn't use it 4,000 times. That's like, really?
You got to use it 4,000 times.
That kind of one, that in order for it to reach the douchebag law, it's like totally 4,000 attempts because it's such a bad pickup line. You know? What's up, girl? Want to fuck a scrub? Seriously.
I mean, but, you know, there's some women who like scrubs. So
there
what
are.
you going to do?
There's some women who like creeps.
Yeah, they like creeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trippy.
You hear a lot of girls say, I keep getting drawn to bad guys.
That girl won't fuck a dirty old man. No, that's horrible. Like, there's horrible things.
Well, now let's hear the old man fucking young girls. Are they horrible for him?
I'm a creep on you, girl, and you like it.
Well, he's probably got a really nice car and a nice house, and he's probably got a fucking huge bank account. I don't see. Yeah, just because he's old, you gotta be crazy. Women aren't stupid, man. That's why they
No, in fact, the opposite. Women are smart.
That's right.
If you spend any time with women, you should know they're fucking smart. We men are idiots. We are built for killing. You know, that's pretty much what we're built for. War.
No.
Killing,
hunting and killing.
It's an intelligent
man's world, and you just got to be.
Yeah, but we're still built for killing. Our evolution is not caught up with that yet.
It's an enlightened world. You just got to learn how to outthink people, man. It's chess. It's really fucking chess, and every move counts.
Does it really?
It really do, man.
I know it does.
It sucks. It sucks because
you make
really
one
fucking
fucked up move.
I know. You make one fucked up move, and boom, it could cost you, man, your whole kingdom.
Has anyone ever played video games? You ever play strategy video games? Like, I love real.
No, I never really got into video games.
I love turn-based strategy games. You know, it's my favorite one. Like Shining in the Darkness, not Shining Force for Sega Genesis.
I wish I'd have got into playing
Shining
like
Force
Yahtzee
2. One of the best games ever. People go out and buy the cartridge for like $700. But beautiful game. Download it now, and it's. A certain round can be 1,000 fucking moves.
Yeah,
you
know?
That's crazy. And it's like, or the best game ever, right? Is Civilization, in all its various forms. You know, Civilization is a great game, and by the time you get to the modern era, and you've got nuclear reactors, and you've built the whole world, you've now built like 70 cities, made so many different decisions. It's like sometimes it's like that one you kind of think. That one thing I put there at that point just fucks me up just enough to fuck me out of this game, you know? Because you got to think 5,000 steps ahead, you know? You know, and I think that's the thing is I love about Titans. I'm bringing it back to the Titans. Titans are better than the Olympians, man. I'm going to answer back because they are better than the Olympians. No. Olympians are not as epic and cosmic on scale. As the Titans.
His best defense was to eat his children and keep them alive within inside of him.
Yes, but the Titans are truly immortal, whereas the Olympians die. The Olympians are not truly immortal.
The Olympians never fucking die.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They do. They do. At one point, they have to leave Olympus at a certain point.
No.
Yeah, there's a whole afterlife for the Olympians.
Well, yeah, but they left all their legacy here on Earth.
That's true.
Like, I got that kind of blood in me. I got special, rare blood. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I will not donate any plasma, blood. No, because my blood is rare. And, no, you can't have any. You know what I mean? Because this is a gift from God. And
well, yeah, my blood is rare, too.
No, your blood is probably just normal.
Doesn't matter. My blood is rare. It's my blood. No one else has it.
No.
It's rare.
No, everybody's got your
definition, my blood is rare.
My blood is super rare.
Yeah, well, your blood is whatever. I don't even you know, it's funny. One of those things. I know I did a lesson plan for how to teach blood types, and yet I still cannot remember. I never understood it. Still, my brain just never got it. Maybe it's because I like techno. But last week we got some new. We met a couple people at the coronation. Yeah. And one of them was Ian and Kendra.
Yeah.
And man, these guys fucking rock.
Yo, man. Dance party.
Ion and Kendra.
Ian, but like
there's
Ion.
14 ways to spell Ian in English in the
the Ian is
Western European languages. Mm-hmm. But like Faroese. How do you spell Ian in Faroese?
Good question.
Yeah, good question, right?
Probably with one of those umlauts or something.
No, 2 Y's or something. A couple L's and a Y. Llewellyn. It's not Llewellyn, it's Llewellyn. But we're going to listen to Ian and Kendra. Save the Last Dance. I think we'll hit some other music because I've been loving. Haven't played much electro, whatever you want to call it, EDM. I think they call it EDM. And there was that East EDC thing last week that all the kids went and did drugs at out in Vegas, and 2 people died. It's not bad for like 200,000 at a giant drug fest. Really, I mean, I bet you in that same demographic group, if you track them over a day, 2 people would probably die in a day normally, given their habits and their lifestyles, you know. But and just given fate, horrible. Yeah, whatever. Death comes to us all. Die on a battlefield like a man.
Yeah.
So Save the Last Dance by Ian and Kendra. We're gonna hear that, and then I'm gonna play someone who I haven't played on this. My buddy Elliot next. He's a great guy. He does the Schmacklin shows.
I work with him.
Getting him in here next month. Elliot's going to be in. We're going to do some amazing free flow craziness, and he's got a few tracks. You can find these guys online. Just look them up, or we'll try to post links eventually. If we will. And we got Elliot next. He's going to Pay for Rain, Volume 3 mini mix, which I love songs like that. And then Andy Fiver, he showed up on Sunday and played. I don't know who got him to play, but you guys, that was a good score, Jake. Yeah. And he played an electric MIDI accordion. Electronic MIDI. I think it was a hybrid,
Andy
actually.
Favre, yeah,
man. It was.
Well, I like the glowy jacket.
And the glowy jacket is beautiful, but the electric MIDI, I think it was a hybrid MIDI accordion. It was just outstanding craziness. And man, he's got some hits. And he's French. You know how I love French disco.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
No,
I
love
have
more
my
than a
French disco flashbacks. Those were the stories I told on stage. He was playing songs that were huge on pop radio in the 90s in Europe. So because it was a lot of the Eastern European, sort of polka punk, Balkan wedding music, gypsy music, like meets techno. And I just love that stuff.
Okay. Well, if we have time, we want to hear Whatever by the Beat Jackers. Absolutely. Because I love the Beat Jackers. They're great peeps. And then hopefully we'll be back. Let's go. Save the Last Dance.
Tonight.
Here we are. Yeah, let's come back in. We have hit a technical nothing. Yeah, Room 5 Hollywood this Tuesday, James. Yeah, we're coming back in. We ran. Man, we suck, guys. We're so bad at scheduling. That's me. But it's fun. No, this man, that's a good one. Room 5 Hollywood.
Yeah, that's dope.
Come by and see him.
Congratulations, Hula.
9:30 Tuesday night, July 1st. July 1st, a lucky
How
day.
much is the admission?
I don't know. Come pay $20 to see James,
20,
dude.
you
It doesn't
should pay about
even
50.
matter. I know, right? 110 to get as close as you are to that artist. Come on.
Yeah, I mean they
You
paid
know?
that for the Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
and
and-
Mick Jagger's what?
Yeah, 70 years old. He ain't nearly.
But Mick Jagger's still worth it though, man.
Yeah,
You gotta admit,
it's
he's still
true.
the man.
It's true. I'm not devaluing any artist. I'm just saying James is of that value.
Yeah, Houlihan's definitely of that value.
And we
A lot of
should.
these guys are, man.
Yeah. Let's jump ahead. I'm gonna do this. Let's jump ahead and I'm gonna play a song. Sorry, we had some difficulty there with our everything. Send us your tracks so that'll make it smoother. And what we're gonna play next is a buddy of mine, one of my neighbors, Scott Bartenhagen. And Bartenhagen's great. He's in the studio. I want us all to gather together in like a cooperative spirit and give Scott some freaking artistic muse today.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Yeah, man, because he's in studio recording. Let's hear Scott from his old demo called Beacon.
Neither swallow your tongue or spit in your cut, 'cause nothing you say will keep me from going for galley to run, unborn sons to feed. Feed my son well, he'll do what you tell him to, teach him the codes that nobody knows but his pops. Leave on the light, so I know it's you. On and off twice means I love you too. Would you wait for me always? Ooh, I know you would. I'd like to believe that no one alive could love you like I do. In 25 leagues, then you're mine, all mine, all mine. I can't promise I'll stay and push you away. I'll always be close. You need me the most. Oh, leave on the light, so I know it's you. And on and off twice means I love you too. Would you signal me always? I know you would. Wait on the line in a golden road. Flickering lights on the ocean floor. Swallowed by sin in slow motion. Back to sleep, I'm alone again.
Yeah. Yes. Holy shit, man. I know you think, how can you be so excited over that? That's because you have no taste in fucking music.
What?
You
Why
goddamn.
just assuming what people
I'm just
think?
saying.
Why
Oh
would
my
you
god,
do
that's
that?
so good, people.
Yeah.
So good. Did you hear that? Oh my god. They're like, I want to be that guy who's just like slaps you the whole time. Like, can you fucking hear this? Can you fucking hear this? Man, it's so good. Thank you guys for coming out this week. We talked about a bunch of crazy shit this week.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. We got off on weird segments that no one. No, not no one. We got off on weird segments of philosophy and things, and that's one of the things I wanted to say, and I was talking about earlier in the show, is that we absolutely are doing something different here on the Sunday show with Johnny O, the great Walton Jordan. Whenever Jake Bo's in, Jake Bowman.
We told you guys. We told
we're always
that
doing
we're
something
being more enlightened.
We're always doing something.
And enlightenment actually is the.
Yeah, we want you
the creation of
to
the
just
dark
find
side.
a way to think, and that's it. And we want to be there to help you think, man, and to help you, deal with your Sunday morning. Deal with, maybe if you listen on Tuesday night, deal with your Tuesday night.
Tuesday night?
Yeah, you can always listen to this show on a Tuesday night. Shit, you can listen to the show on Saturday night when you get home.
Yeah.
You still want to keep the party going? Turn up the Sunday show with Johnny O. It's a good time for you.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
You might do it Friday night.
You might. And
I would have to question
because we
why,
play fucking rock and roll. We do old school FM radio. We do all sorts of shit. This is on the internet, radiotitans.com. The Sunday show with Johnny O.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm
the great Walton Jordan.
That's me.
Jake Bo.
What?
Jake Bowman. Zoe Duran sitting over in the corner quiet. Rachel Oda on the boards.
Rachel Oda.
And
she's not in
next
the band.
week, tune in.
Artist.
It's going to be crazy. Blind Owl's going to be in studio playing,
solo thing.
doing crazy shit. We're going to have a lucha de libre here. And you'll get to hear it all. We'll videotape it and put it on the internet. But for right now, we're going to hear the newest track. Death to Ego, Blind Owl. Have a good night, guys. RadioTitans.com.
Radio Titans.
radiotitans.com.